Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Good blessed full moon morning to you, full moon in Scorpio on a Thursday. This is streaming Thursday, May 7th. Full moon in Scorpio on a Thursday. Great day for money magic, just saying, but there's a heck of a lot more going on. Yeah. Who only got a couple hours sleep? I did. Woo! The Astral Plane Bar and Grill was hopping last night. Woo! Ascended Masters chatting with me. It was worth it, though. It was worth it. I'll nap later. All right. So much going on. So much going on my schedule today. So, good morning, Donna. Donna Bella. Bella Bella. Donna Donna. Donna. You're too young to know who Donna is, probably. It's a very Long Island specific thing. WLIR. Was she on WDRE? I know she was on Donna. Live from Malibu. Good morning, D. I bet D. Hansel knows who Donna is. Long Island girl. Yeah, blessed full moon. We got some business to talk about today. If you're in the Mark-Angelo Lyons Mail for Short Facebook group, I streamed maybe 20 minutes ago, letting you know that someone in the group had a Beloved One crossover, which leads me to one of the things we're going to talk about. I mean, the moon is in Scorpio. It's full moon in Scorpio, ruled by Pluto and all of that. So tonight at 9 p.m. in the Facebook group, the Mark-Angelo Lyons Mail for Short Facebook group. If you're unfamiliar, we're going to be lighting a black candle. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I don't want to talk about that right this moment because we've got other more perhaps pleasant fish to fry, but it is what it is. Good morning. I love how people always have an immediate reaction to my name in some way. Yeah, Donna. Belladonna, of course, WLIR, WDRE. Yeah. So I literally have the spread in front of me for the twin flame readings. It's 13 cards because, the upload times are still a little cuckoo bananas. I hesitate to do a 1 hour reading because it takes forever. Even these live streams, it takes them all day long to process. But that's okay. I mean, that's okay. What can I do about it? I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, schedule-wise, it's a little crazy making for things to finally be ready to post at 3 a.m., right? Which I know in other time zones people will watch them. But I might get to the point where I'm just scheduling, and this is what I've been doing. I've been scheduling things to hit at 7 p.m., 7:30, 8 in the evening. Oh, and I hope you are enjoying the meditations that I've been doing. That's what because recording is just a different process than editing, obviously. One more creative than the other, but both very creative. Were you on YouTube last night? I couldn't find you. No, I was not. I took yesterday off. I edited, but I was not. I didn't record a thing yesterday, except I did jump into the room at one point. The Facebook group. I popped in to say hi. No, yesterday I really tried to do some self-care, which I think is funny because if you saw on my Instagram, and I posted it to Facebook, and it's on my community page on YouTube, as I was opening up my blackout drapes, because I need blackout drapes. Literally, the sun comes right in my bedroom. I have big sliding glass doors. So, I had those vertical blinds. They weren't helping. So I pulled those over, and there is a squirrel passed out asleep on my balcony. I'm like, first of all, I didn't know squirrels slept because they're so active, but just camped out. So I took a picture of it if you want to see. Sorry, I'm getting messages and stuff. Good morning, Karen. Good morning. Well, look, as far as Wi-Fi and all of that goes, just everybody bear with. Everybody will bear with. It's not like if I slow down speaking, it's going to do, because I talk fast. I come from fast talking people. It's just going to be a very, very busy full moon today. And I will be back here at 11 p.m. unless I'm not, in which case I will let people know. But I'm going to try and pace myself. I'm going to try and do 4 of the twin flame reads today. It's only 13 cards. I'll take a picture of it face down and post it to Instagram, and that's my job now. It's been my job for a while. Social media has just become a necessary transformation we all had to go through. If you're a small business owner, at least, right? And a small business owner and corporation of one. Yeah. Good morning was such a cute picture of squirrel. Yeah, just like. Meanwhile, my cats are talking to it. They're like, I'm like, oh, darlings, I didn't realize that you spoke squirrel. Does Rosetta Stone have a squirrel? No worries, I think it's on my end. Yeah. So I've been editing. What I did is 3 years ago or so, I started recording my classes and workshops at the Silver Broom and Sable, which now is defunct, no longer exists. Edited them on Sony Movie Maker, which is wonderful software, very user friendly. I'm not technically inclined, and uploaded them to Vimeo. But Vimeo.com has a wonderful on-demand program, but it's like $150 a year to go pro. That's the level of it, right? The subscription level of pro in order to do that. And this past year, it didn't pay for itself. Like, if it's not going to make $150 at least, it's really not worth me doing. So what I've been doing is downloading all of my content from Vimeo back onto my new hard drive upstairs. So I have them all, but I am also editing them, taking the prayers and meditations and practices and doing them as part of the prayers and prayer and practice series here on YouTube. So at least people get to use them, right? They get to experience them. Now, I know they're not everybody's cup of tea. I already lost a handful of subscribers, I'm sure, as a result, because people just want me to do readings all the time. But I'm a witch army knife, okay? Like, I do all sorts of stuff. Even when I was in theater, when I was in the show business, I was a triple threat, really a quadruple threat, really a quintuple threat, particularly if your boyfriend was cute. But that was the 80s, right? The 80s and the 90s. Oh, and I have a new modeling picture that I found. I will post that as well, too. I went dig and I found a good one. I think like a slide. That's a good picture. I'll be posting that today too, because I just think those pictures are hysterical. Yeah, I found the semi-nudes. Semi-nudes, there's no frontal, but it was an interesting photographer. Anyway, the 80s and the 90s. How does the void of course affect the full moon tonight? Really, really good question. So void of course is not a great time to do magic, because the moon is the symbol of magic and it is a mirror. So when it's void of course, it's not reflecting any other planetary energy. It's sort of in between signs, right? So it'll be in between Scorpio and Sagittarius. So magically, it's not great. Things tend to be delayed. There's just no oomph, right? Perfect for meditation, which is why I'm thinking that's maybe what we'll do tonight. I have to be careful with my wording here on YouTube. That's why in the Facebook group we'll do more of the intense stuff, because we will be, if we do that at 9 p.m., which we will, yeah, the moon goes void, of course, 10:39, so we have plenty of time. But actually, the full moon is at 6:45 a.m. Oh, we're already on the waning side. Well, there you have it. So perfect. Yeah, we're going to do some crossing over stuff. We'll talk about that there. I'm not talking about that here. Oh, so I have the spread laid out, preparation, right? So if you're not familiar with this book, Animals Speak, by Ted Andrews, unfortunately no longer with us. I never got to meet him. Oh my God. Look, there's a Borders Books and Music sticker on the bottom, because I used to work for them back in the 90s. So this is my go-to. This is the book that I go to. So I thought I would share what he says about the squirrel. Keynote: activity and preparedness, cycle of power year round, because they don't hibernate. Everyone is familiar with the squirrel. It is a member of the rodent family and is often seen scurrying about as if always busy or bursting with nervous energy. Squirrels can be, thank you, RuPaul, for that little tidbit. They are often observed scrounging about for food and digging holes in the earth and storing nuts and other food sources for later times. Okay, there's a lot in there. Talks about the different types of squirrels. Red squirrels, obviously, this is a gray squirrel, is the most common. The one in the picture, the one I saw. And the most enthusiastic, so I'm taking that piece with it too, to be a little bit more enthusiastic, because it's a little bit hard to be like, right. Its predominant predators are foxes and raptors, such as owl and the hawk. Gray squirrels, like the red, usually have 2 litters per year, and they are usually able to be on their own in about 12 weeks, so they grow up quickly, just like I did. All squirrels can be quite sociable. They wrestle for play, only after the 3rd date on my end. So here's the divinatory, right? The totemic meaning. Squirrels can teach us balance within the cycle of gathering and giving out. If we are doing too much of one or the other, squirrel may appear to help us. Squirrels are the masters at preparing, but they are also reminders that in our quest for our goals, is upstairs my balcony, that it's chill, Mark, chill out. So the squirrel told me to hang out and play a little bit more on my own here, but you know, Elvinar, that's the extent of my play. So there we go. I'm going to log off back on. Okay, Mari, you got it. Oh, I'm reading that right now. Love. I really wish I could have met him, but I didn't. I didn't meet him. Well, until my son went down to take a picture. Yeah, and then it's like, oh, paparazzi. Right. But the funniest part to me was my cat. Wait while we try reconnecting. I'm waiting while it tries. Okay, it just gave me the first thing that says your connection is unstable. Hold on 1 second. I will be right back. Really, literally, just walking across the room. Did I not turn that off? Oh, it's 11:11. Boot. $11:11. Make a wish. Okay. And yes, I'm wearing what are these things called? Undergear. I guess they're like yoga pants for men. Yoga pants for men. Some new from Calvin Klein. Yoga pants for men. The stench of it. Bendy. Hi. I really need a live-in production assistant, and my cats are, I would say they're all thumbs, but they have no. So, you know, what are you going to do? So let's get down to the topic at hand. Let's say a prayer, and we'll see how this goes, shall we? Because I want to talk about the golden timeline, because I had a visitation last night, and not a human, well, not a human body visitation, but a visitation nonetheless. Hold on a second. And it's been 48 hours since I prayed with you all, or so. So let's do this. Take a nice deep breath. Breathe, everybody. My bedroom slippers. I'm wearing an Oleg Cassini, like micro suede, microfiber suede thingy. Hoo ha doodah, spank. Yoga pants, undergear, I think they call it for men, jewelry, and bedroom slippers, because Mark Angelo Lyons Mel for short. I'm off center because of the Virgo, I can tell. There we go. Okay. Squirrel. Dearest God, Goddess, all that is, we surrender this day to you. Oh boy, do we surrender this full moon in Scorpio day to you. May it serve your purposes, because we are here only to be truly helpful, here to represent you who sent us, so we don't have to worry about what to say or what to do, because you who sent us are directing us. So we are content to go wherever you wish, knowing that you go along with us and that we will be healed as you teach us to heal. Please show us today in general where you would have us go, even in our own minds, even in our own explorations of life, where you would have us go, what you would have us do, what you would have us say, and to whom. That together as one, we may heal, we may grow, we may follow the path, that we may step into and maintain our presence in the golden timeline, that we may be the very best and the very blessed that we can be, and give the very best and the very blessed that we can give with every thought, with every choice, with every feeling, with every action that we take. Please take us by the hand. Like little kids helping us cross the street. Take us by the hand, that we may navigate through this day wisely and well, feeling what we need to feel, with emotional freedom, with our conduct intact, that we may speak and choose and act according to our wisdoms, our soul's high wisdom in reality. Speak every word through us, make every choice through us, manifest every outcome, take every action, that it all be in alignment with our soul's high wisdom in reality, for our well-being and for the well-being. It's too easy to be held underwater, so to speak, in the emotions and the empathy of it all, when the moon is so full in a sign like Scorpio. And yet we have the opportunity to transform, to alchemize from the leaded timeline to the golden timeline. And we know that we don't know how to do that, but we know that you want us on that golden timeline, and that there's versions of ourselves that are already walking that golden timeline, and maybe we already are, and maybe we already have, but we know that we don't know. We are willing to be shown, yet we understand there is a huge variable, a huge element of mystery, with this being a mystical thing we are all going through on planet Earth. So please, may your guidance and grace carry us through for the well-being of all. Thank you. So mote it be, and so it is. Okay. So let's talk about emotional freedom. I need a sip of Wonder Coffee for this. It was 2000. While we try reconnecting. Hold on. Please hold. Okay. At least I get the little thing that says your connection is unstable. I'm like, not to the gods. It's not. Take it personally, Mark. Yeah, I've never dated a brave Leo. They've all been cowardly. The cowardly lions, right? It's like, and I'm not. Well, I'm a fan of Dorothy, and that I'm a gay man, but it was never my favorite movie. I mean, bad treatment of witches, and let's face it, Elphaba wasn't all that wicked, and Glinda wasn't that good. And by the way, it was her sister's shoes, after all. Who's that brat from Kansas, like stealing her deceased sister's shoes? That's just wrong. But there you go. A real witch would have said, honey, click and go, day one, right? Forget the metaphoric journey of your head, your heart, and your courage. Go. Off with you. I would, but of course I would. Yeah, well, and Mari, I hear you, but I really want to stay on track with this because this is important. It's what they told me to talk about today, because I had a visitation. I'll talk about that part in a bit. So, I remember being like really depressed when I had to let him go. It just wasn't working out between us. He lived in Manhattan, I lived in Bayshore on Long Island, and he was just a narcissist. I mean, now looking back, right? It's like it was all about him, And I'm a Virgo. I'm Pisces moon. I'm like, well, and I was also a people pleaser, right? It's people pleasing just comes with being an empath until you kind of get. That's what's called passive narcissism. It's so we're narcissists, but in a totally different way, and different than a covert narcissist. Remember, there's a whole pantheon of narcissism, a very dark pantheon, but there you have it. So I remember laying on my couch and my guide saying to me, we want you to look up the word prosperity. I was like, prosperity? okay, but I do what I'm told, right? God's telling me to do something, I do it. Why not? So up pops this thing called prosperityplace.com. And I see the words, the emotional freedom technique. Now, maybe you're familiar with the emotional freedom technique, also known as EFT. It's energy tapping. Well, I downloaded at the time, a rather lengthy process. It's been simplified. Gary Craig, is that the name of the guy who created it? An inventor, an engineer, made it. And within 10 minutes of doing the EFT, all of those feelings of sadness and rejection and regret gone. And I was like, for a Pisces moon, I was just like, what was that? What was that? I spent the next 2 years doing it pretty much every day. I remember because like a week, February, and just doing it like around the clock. Always sort of wondering, well, like, where does it go? Where does that energy go to? It wasn't repression, but it was weird. So I began to my original concept of emotional freedom was freedom from the emotions, right? It's like, you don't have to feel this anymore, right? Like energetic Prozac or something. I don't know. But as I've grown and evolved in understanding what it means to become a master empath, it means, at least it means to me, emotional freedom means the freedom to feel whatever emotions you are feeling without worry, without anticipation, and without regret, W-A-R. And what do you need to do that? You need to R-A-W. You need to respect what you're feeling. You need to acknowledge what you're feeling. You need to welcome what you're feeling. That's emotional freedom, that we are not our emotions. I mean, even if you're not an empath, you're not your emotions. They're the element of water. They pass through you. But if you are an empath, that's really important. That's really, really good to know. It's really, really good to know that you're not your emotions, right? But we incarnate, look, we are souls, agreed, right? Immortal, eternal, genderless, free of politics, birthless, deathless, guiltless, sinless, creations of the spirit, right? Because there's the ego, the personality, the soul, the higher self, the spirit, onwards and upwards to the divine, to the one, to the divine singularity, the supreme being. So we wanted to come back. We wanted to come back. We wanted back in the game. We wanted back on the stage after our last lifetimes, but we did not get to choose who we are. And that's, because that's something that has a bit about reincarnation. Because I think we all say, I chose this. Like, why did I choose this? Why did I choose this? Think of it sort of like computer dating, right? It's like you put in the data. In other words, your soul wants to experience certain things. And what are you going to do? Read every script of every quantum lifetime available on planet Earth or elsewhere? It's a lot, right? I'm sure they have staff for that kind of thing, right? So Carolyn Mays talks about the angels, the 3 angels. This is in Sacred Contracts: the angel of necessity, the angel of choice, and the angel of compassion, right? Those are the 3 angels you talk to that set you up with your contract. You are chosen, right? They choose the life for you to play. You go, you sign the contract, deathless, and whoop, that makes sense that we do not choose the circumstances. But I have to say, there has to be a signing, there has to be a contract moment where we sign it, where we look it over and we go, yeah, okay. But I think we want back in so much because we want to experience emotions in bodies. And look, there's a difference in being the rose, right? Like being unity consciousness, you need the illusion of separation to smell the rose. Physical intimacy, when you're one with everything, do you know what I mean? It's not the same. Think of it as actors mo every single time. They don't want to play the damsel, or for that matter, the villain every single time, right? You want to come back. You want to keep trying new things, right? Actors get better the more they do it, right? I mean, Al Pacino, I'm sure coming out the gate was really good, but you know, he just kept working. You refine, you hone your craft. That's why I think like acting is a really good metaphor for life on planet Earth. So why do we do that? Do we incarnate only to feel the good stuff? Well, I'm sure we have lives like that, right? I don't remember any of them, but I can tell you there are some lives that I've had that felt like pure hardship 24/7, 365. Don't remember all of those either. Probably that's a grace right there. But it all comes out in the wash. It all balances out in one way, shape, or form. So, you know, here we are in this time of global transformation. Scorpio, full moon in Scorpio on a Thursday, the day of Jupiter, Thor's day, Thor and Jupiter and lightning and thunder, and Scorpio ruled by Pluto, the god Hades, lord of the underworld, the god of transformation and alchemy. Oy, we are in the crucible. And I don't mean the Arthur Miller play, not a great play for witches. And by the way, none of those women were witches. Tituba, I'll give you that one. She had some magical training passed down to her, but the rest of them, a bunch of white girls with bad rye bread. There's my review of the Crucible. I bind you, Nancy. Anyway, yeah, eat some bad rye bread. You'll get bound, all right? You're bound to see some stuff going on. Anyway, so, you know, that's been my work. That's been my work here on YouTube, at least in these streams and the Facebook groups, and particularly the stuff you guys don't see. Right, crying my eyes out an hour a day, and it's always not always an hour a day, and it's not always crying my eyes out, but really giving myself those times during the day to love what arises. Thank you, Matt Kahn, for the phrase. Very helpful. Inner child work. Well, yesterday was no exception. My day off, which just means I didn't record, was an emotional day. I mean, all the whole spectrum, right? By the way, I did go to therapy. I am not polar. I don't, you know, I was tested the whole nine. She's like, you're not bipolar. You're just sensitive. I was like, thank you. I'm the best therapist on planet Earth. Really, a lesbian Course in Miracles student married to a Wiccan. Just brilliant, bless her heart. Oh, you're scared now? Good. Now a warning? But that's the thing. Your ego's scared. The ego's supposed to be scared. The ego should be scared. But fear is not a sin. It's just uncomfortable. Fear is an intuitional message saying that transformation's coming, right? Change is coming. There may be loss involved. But haven't you ever been afraid of something that ended up being the best thing ever? Right? So we don't know, right? It's the ego worrying, anticipating, and or regretting, right? So this is the work, right? Emotional freedom is that. It is that freedom to feel it all, but we don't act on it. In other words, as depressed as I have been, I am very, very aware that the opportunities for me to resign my post watch as Mal dances around the words, has been ever present. It's ever present for every single one of us, right? The exit door, so to speak. But it's not how I want to, that's not how I want my story to end. I'm sure in the quantum variations, remember, near infinite number of quantum variations, different Mals, different Maris, different Donnas, different all of us's. Hi, Christine, different Christines, right? I'm sure they're kidding me when they tell me I'm only one of 5 quantum variations of Mark Angelo Lyons Mal for short left. But I know that there was one, gay, but stayed closeted, married a woman, became a lawyer, and probably, yeah, I don't think he's around anymore. I do think that there is Mal the model. So gone from the planet. I mean, if he made it through the 80s, let alone into the 90s, right? He never married the first husband. None of that happened. never was a spiritual teacher, ignored the spiritual calling, right? So we all get those. Falling for someone can be super scary. No, not at all. Of course, that's the risk you take. Let's stay on track though, Dave. All of these relationships, all of this stuff are opportunities for us to feel the depth of emotion, both love and grief. Look, I hate to break it to you, spoiler alert, no one lives in the same body forever, but the soul is eternal. So here you are looking for your soulmate. You got to get that someone's going to leave unless you both leave at the same time. Again, I'm watching my language for YouTube. It's probably going to flag it anyway, but whatever. I got to do it. I got to be me. I got to be me. So there is a certain freedom that comes with that spiritual awakening knowledge of like, well, I'm going to feel it anyway. And there are different versions of me that can't feel this stuff. But I want to, don't you all want to live the very best and the very blessed version of your life? Please comment here. Yes or no. Do you want to live the very best and the very blessed version? I'll give you a minute. The very best. Just yes or no. And if you don't, bonus salute. I understand. No, I don't. But whatever. Of course you do. Of course you want to live the very best and the very blessed. Well, understand that the ego's version of the very best and the very blessed is getting what it wants, always getting what it wants, never feeling anything but happiness, never feeling anything but content, instant manifestation, 24/7, 365. Who got that ever? Who ever got that? Who ever got that? I mean, you can say, oh, well, the wealthy. Look, even Mr. and Mrs. Howell got stuck on an island, right? I'm sure they had other plans after that 3-hour tour, a cotillion or something, right? Who gets that? Royalty? Have you seen the lives of the royals? Not great. I think that's what the entire, royal family in England was an out picturing of, right? The Kennedys, yeah, wealthy. Handsome, elegant, intelligent, sweet. They're really ideal. I just McGillicuddy them, didn't I? Just off the top of my head. Well, but they're practically the House of Thieves in terms of family tragedy, right? So into each life, some rain must fall. Into each life, rain must fall. We all have that emotional spectrum from despair, depression, to joy, bliss, despair, depression, to joy, bliss, ecstasy, and everything in between. That's what a well-rounded actor wants in what they call a juicy part, right? Well, if you want the golden timeline, that's what that is. That's the way there. That the golden timeline is the quantum version, the quantum variant. Here, this is what they showed. Okay. So last night, I went to sleep early. I watched What We Do in the Shadows, and really the first 2 minutes, Nadia said something about Pablo Picasso, which I'm not going to repeat here on YouTube, but I laughed so hard I almost cramped. That was just the funniest thing ever, right? Too much fun. But then I was like, all right, let's go to bed. I know I have the readings to do today. I've got clients that want to book me. I'll be booking clients over the weekend. And I have one person definitely needs me. Squirrel, got to get some play and some rest in there more. And as I laid down to sleep, I took my shower and all of that. The emotions came, right? And I can't even remember what triggered them. It's not important what it was, but I began to cry. Oh, and I was doing that RAW. I was doing the respecting what I was feeling, acknowledging what I was feeling, and welcoming it. And part of it was definitely working so hard. Oh, thank you, Mari. Thank you for the unicorn super chat. That's so cool. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And it was a part of it was about trying so hard, right? We talked about that a couple of mornings ago, about trying in the divine plan. Well, the fulfillment of the divine plan is going to happen anyway. But what they showed me, and it was the Ascended Masters, and I'm not going to tell you everything they said to me because I can't remember everything they said to me right now, but it moved me to tears, tears of love. Thank you so much for the rose as well. Oh my God, I love super chats. I love them stickers so much. So the thing about it is that I was feeling my feelings. I'm at a place of emotional freedom. And one of the things they said to me was so beautiful. And they even told me some things that are going to happen and things that are going on the planet that I'm not at liberty to say. And that's just how it is. It's just how it is. When you deal with these higher dimensional beings, you understand what they say. We're going to tell you something, but you can't tell anybody. You have to keep this a secret, a mystery. I was like, okay, all right. Well, that's the deal, right? Because if you speak them, you sound crazy. Or you sound like a prophet, Prophet, and then people start, worshiping you when it comes true. So it's just not a bargain. And apparently I've done that in other lives, and I just know that I'm not going there. But they said to me, you are on the golden timeline. And as you go on your path, everyone that works with you, you will be into, it's not that I'm going to bring you on to the golden timeline, but the more that I'm aware of walking the golden timeline, I'll tell you the visualization, what they showed me, is that you will be, and I'm going to use my own words for this, reconnoitering with, rendezvousing with the golden timeline versions of them. So there are different versions of all of us, right, in the quantum. That's why, of course, we have free will, but we can't choose the curriculum. And emotional freedom is the key. Now, I also want to tell you, because they just reminded me, Matt Kahn is doing Project Resolution today at 11:11 a.m. Western time, so 2 p.m. Eastern. Go to his website. You can sign up for it. Usually I post a link to it on the Facebook group. But I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be listening to him today. He says it's a really good one. He always says it's a really good one. But I love Matt Kahn. I do. I mean, at first I was like, nice sweater vest. Sweater vest? Really? But I get it. He's in Portland, I think he is. Anyway. Northwestern United States. It's cold and it's foggy and it's rainy. I get it. If I could get away with wearing these. Nothing like a Spanx. Spanx me. Spanx a lot. Spam a lot. Spanx a lot. So yeah, they said you are walking the golden timeline, and everyone that you work with, near or far, in other words, all of you, not as long as you keep watching my channel, but whenever I interact with you, I'm interacting with you, whether it's virtually, whether we're face-to-face or whatever, that we're on that same thing, because I have given my life to this work. Not everybody has to, but I'm not a savior. I'm not a messiah. I'm not a savior. I'm not a saint. I'm not an angel. I'm not that quaint. Because you know what Kali says to that? She goes, no. Right? No, I'm not that. Yet I am that. Yet we all are. Mal, not to distract you, can you answer later how you hear your angels so clearly? I want to learn. The same way you get to Carnegie Hall. Cab. No. Practice. So yeah, like Christine has known me for years personally. She's a Long Island lady. We know each other. We've hung out, we've done Beltanes together. She knows me. And she knows I've given my life to this. Like, I could have been a model. I could have been an actor. I could have been a lawyer. I'm pretty sure that the majority of those quantum themes have played themselves out. I'm the one walking the golden timeline. I'm probably not the only one of me walking the golden timeline. So here's what they showed me. They said to me, imagine this moment and all of your chakras lit up. And I did. I was laying in bed. It was very easy to do, right? And through each one, there were these thousands of threads, like fiber optics. That's what it looked like lines of light. And they were all different colors, right? So the ones from the root chakra were red and orange from the sacrum all the way up. But then there were these ones where all one from each kind of braided together and became gold. And it shot off way far out into the distance. And they said, that's the timeline you're on. You can even deviate to one, but we're going to always bring you back to that. But that's our free will. Now, does that mean that you can fall off the quantum timeline the quantum version of the golden timeline? Yeah, but all you have to do to get back on is to embrace and feel whatever you're feeling. You got to feel it to heal it, and whoop, you return to love. Thank you, Marianne Williamson. It's a great book, by the way. I love you too, Christine. So this is the work. The work is, and by the way, I don't know if this is for everybody. This might just be for the first wave. This might just be for the divine feminine, energy sensitive, you know, empathic, right? Divine feminine doesn't mean you're a woman, doesn't only mean you're a woman, doesn't only mean you're gay or any of that. It just means you're energy sensitive. I spoke with this young man in London the other day who had no idea about this empathy stuff. He goes, is it normal that when you touch somebody, you know their whole life stories and feel their pain? I was like, sweetheart, you might be an empath. Right? It's like he had no idea. So I was able to communicate to him, and he was like, thank you so much. I said, message me in 48 hours. Let me know how you're doing. Because he's like, I saw what happened to this woman, but I'm afraid to tell her that she won't be my friend anymore if she knows that I've seen it, that she'll think I'm weird. I'm like, first of all, we're all weird. But like I said, I don't know if the second and third waves have that same thing. There's golden timelines for them too. Unity consciousness, right? Heaven on earth, whatever you want to call it, the fulfillment of the divine plan. But I have a feeling all quantum timelines eventually merge. It's just, how do you want to get there? How do you want to get there? I want to get there. See, if given the choice between time or intensity, I will take intensity. Because time keeps flowing like a river. No, I'm like, let's do this. Sorry, I just had so many songs collide in my head, right? Someone just messaged me something in French. Sorry, I don't speak the language. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, so the emotional freedom, do you get how that is part of the golden timeline? Simple, not easy. Oh, be emotionally free, feel your emotions, love what rises. Okay. Next. No, it's not easy. And maybe the divine masculines, the first wave, the social justicers, that whole third of the population does it a different way. And maybe the third wave, the ones that are merging with technology, essentially they're addicted to physical form, some way, shape, or form, right? They'll be the last ones to come through, I guess. But eventually we all get home because we are all one. And this is what we signed up for. And it is the most exciting time that planet Earth has seen in millennia. Like maybe the Renaissance was like this. And by the way, the Renaissance came after the Dark Ages. Right? Going through a pretty dark age right now, and have been for a while. Darlene, you are doing a great job teaching others. Thank you so much, Darlene. Thank you. $1.99. $1 do make me holler. And of course, oh wait. You know, which quantum timeline do you want to work? Do you want to work the hot mess, or do you want to work the one that's stunning, sweetheart? Because the choice is ours, but we don't make it here. We make it here. We make it here. So it is simple. It is not easy. We do have free will, but free will does not mean that you get to choose the curriculum. So this is why I was guided. Now I get, you know what they said to me? Here's what they said to me, and may this be true for all of us. Because there were tears. I mean, I literally sleep, okay, in, so let's see, 74, 84. In 1994, it was my parents, in November 1994, It was my parents' 30th wedding anniversary, Zeus and Hera, my mother and my stepfather. And they took 19 of us to Atlantis. Now, just to clarify, the resort, not the sunken continent, because it's me. You might think I mean the sunken continent and not Atlanta, Atlantis. And it was wonderful. I mean, there were kids everywhere, but you know, open bar. I was done with it. So we all got beach towels, and I mean, I still have 2 of them. They are gigantic. They're not just beach towels; they're bath sheets, huge, right? So I sleep with one of them because I know at any point, just roll over. I need something I can cry into, blow my nose in, roll up, use as a neck pillow, right? I'm a Virgo. It's very don't panic. It's very Hitchhiker's Galaxy. Thank you, Douglas Adams, right? 42. I should have 42 of those towels. They said to me, they said, Mark, we are so sorry. This has been so hard. Now, to pause for a second, I'm so sorry as acknowledgement. So they were acknowledging how rough this version of this Markangelo Lyons character is on this. It's rough. It's been rough. I mean, yeah, okay, I live in a nice house. My parents love me. There, of course, it all comes out in the wash. It all balances at some point. But after like crying my eyes out, they said, this will all make sense to you soon. This will all make sense in hindsight. Now, I believe that is true when we croak, but they assured me, they're like, no, that's not, like, they're very clear. And these were the Ascended Masters, by the way. They said other things that I'm not at liberty to talk about. But they showed me some stuff. And apparently, without me officially given my Akashic Records library card, because I really want my Akashic Records library card, because I want to go research, everything works out. And in this timeline that I'm in, everything works out. And soon, and I said, yes, yes, sure, soon, 20 years from now, in a lifetime, soon, they're like, no. I said, okay, what are we talking, years? They said, no. I said, months. I go, they're not going to reveal the ending. Don't you hate it when you're watching a movie with somebody that you've already watched, and the whole time they're like, what happens? What happens? What happens? Right? They're like, and you're like, we just watched the movie. We just watched the movie. This is the best part. And that's the thing. I know it doesn't look this way, but this is the best part. This is the drama. This is the, what do they call it? Not denouement, that comes afterwards. God, I used to remember all this stuff from playwriting. This is the climax. This is the action. This is the chase. This is the part of the hero's journey where the hero becomes really the hero. And we all have the ability to be the heroes in our own lives right now, but not without feeling it. We came for the emotion. We came for the emotion. We stayed for the chocolate. All right. It's fine. It's fine. You got to remember, our ancient ancestors did not know from chocolate. So we've got, what, cell phone. They didn't even know what phones were. They didn't even know what cells were. I mean, like, they didn't even know they were made of cells, right? We are way ahead of the game than we realize. But, you know, and here we are complaining about the relationships in our lives, the men in our lives, that we didn't get the romance that we wanted. Meanwhile, planet Earth is making a shift from 3rd through 4th into 5th dimensional consciousness. We are anchoring heaven on earth, paradise, whatever you want to call it, the return of the gods, the angels walking the earth, the second coming. Please, every culture has a version of this in one way, shape, or form. It's like when somebody said, is this Armageddon or the Great Awakening? I said, yes, it's all of that and a side of fries, which if you're door dashing from Arby's, get the potato cakes because they're amazing. They have onions in them. So this is what I'm about. This is why I incarnated, apparently. And that's why today I'm going to do the twin flame contract reads so that you can get, okay, this person cannot give me the love that I want, but they are teaching me how to give myself the love that I need. Got it. Right? So that we don't have to sit and look, don't beat yourself up if you've been crying, waiting for the phone to ring. That's part of the plan. That's even part of the golden timeline. So don't even judge, well, am I on the golden timeline or not? Here, wait, let me check. Is this let's muscle test. Am I in the golden timeline? Don't do that. Don't bother with that. Thank you, Lavala. Thank you, 299. Woohoo! Absolutely, they were already here. And they told me that everything that I have ever wanted in this life, I am going to get in this life, but not the ego as the soul. And I was like, what do y'all mean by that? My I'm laying in bed with like a snotty tear towel, huge, right? All balled up. My cat's like, meow. Balthazar with his paw on my leg. You okay, Mama? Right? Oh, they're here. And I go, what do you mean by that? What'd you talk about, Willis? And they said, well, you will experience it in physical form, but your ego will be so integrated, it will be more the experience of your soul than of the ego. Because what is the ego? It's the dormant, incubating aspect of the soul. So the ego is not the enemy. It is necessary. So guess who's feeling the pain? The soul. Guess who's resisting emotional freedom? Guess who's feeling the pain? The ego. Guess who's resisting? Right? Guess who's worried, anticipating, trying to outrun the divine plan and any suffering that might happen, and who's regretful? It's the ego. It's the densest part of God, if you will. The demon that has forgotten. I need a towel like that for all the crying at night. But here's the deal. Just panicking for the past 2 days, then get what the panic is. Get what the panic is. It's an intuitive surge that things are changing quickly, that things are transforming fast. It's, in other words, the fear is a gift. What? Did he unsubscribe? Did he just say the fear is a gift? The fear is a gift. It's an intuitive thing you're feeling. And the thing is that if we all check out now, exit, stage, left, we're missing out on what's the other side of this. This is the crucible. We've walked in lead. We're in the fire. We're walking out of here gold. But understand, if you're watching this, chances are you're a first waver. We're the first ones to the party. We get access to the buffet table before the second and third wave. We are the path clearers. We're the pioneers. Yeah. This is so uplifting to hear this morning. So much negativity happening right now and opening up hair salons. Yeah, I needed mine to be redirected on a better path. Well, and that's the thing. We can't. We're not in control. The free will that we have is, are we going to love or not? Here's the question. You want to stay on the golden timeline? Here's the question to ask yourself. Ready? Take a deep breath. You're not going to like it. What would love do? And it's okay to say, I don't know. Well, love would love you for not knowing. What would love do? What would love do? And that makes sense because one of the times I feel like a soldier on the front line taking the brunt. Yeah, well, but also we get to, so as deep as your pain is as high as you can feel the pleasure. In other words, river deep, mountain high. Did I love you? Look, I just Tina Turner does. 'Cause I love you, baby. Baby, baby, baby. Yeah. What would love do? Because what's love got to do with it? Apparently everything. Apparently everything. It's a universal solvent. It's the alchemical ingredient. We gotta love what rises, because we're not just doing this for ourselves. That's what the ego thinks. How come why can't I get what I want? And believe me, I've been there. Had been there. I was there less than 12 hours ago. Yep, I was there less than 12 hours ago. I had a pity pit stop. But rather than push it down or talk myself out of it, I let myself feel it and cried like a river. Cried like a river. I love it when you break out into song. I'm just well trained, honey. I do a version of Cry Me a River that is so angry. It's sort of like, switch work. That's my vision of superstar. Anyway, so shall we meditate? Let's meditate. You got the message. You got it all downloaded, right? Love we be constant and non-judgmental. But that means even loving the judgments. That means even allowing the judgments to come up, because the ego is unraveling, dissolving. Sadness is the ego dissolving into the love of the soul. Oh my goodness gracious. Only the ego can judge, and it can never judge accurately. Only the higher self can judge accurately, and it always says innocent. Innocent, case dismissed. Yeah. Yes, let's work. Okay, everybody breathe. I have other things to do today, not that I'm not digging this big time. Take a moment. Take a moment. And just feel inside your body. Feel all of that space going on inside of you. And though you know you have like bones and organs and veins and arteries and all that, how it really does feel like space, right? Like you can't, I mean, unless there's an irritation or a sensation, you can't really tell where your physical heart is and your and your lungs are feeling wise. You can think about it. You can, you know, you can have the anatomy picture in your head, but it just feels like inner space. What Eckhart Tolle calls the spirit body. Now we're going to layer on top of that the chakras. Cross my hands for this. And even the chakras in your hands and in your feet. Just, you know, you don't got to visualize them in full technicolor. Just kind of red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. One in each hand, one in the sole of each foot. And now these different colored fiber optic threads, right? Streaming out in all different directions. Each different energetic choices, decisions, choices, all different variations and variables. And some of them are braiding together and some of them are solitary. And you see how many of them there are. And that's just for this moment. There's no way we can intellectually track all of them and choose what's the best one. The best one is the one the soul chooses. But now look for the one, and you might have to look a little further ahead of you to see the one where there's one from each chakra, meaning hand, right hand, left hand, right foot, left foot, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, and white, that 8th chakra as well. Kind of all braiding together and then becoming one. Oh, there it is. Right off into the distance it goes, and it goes further than the rest. The rest of them peter out eventually, right? Or merge with others. Or they all eventually merge with this golden one. The golden timeline. The one where we make it. The one where some people don't make it, but they're in different timelines, experiencing the world that they want to experience on a soul level. But there's this golden timeline, you see. The one where we make it through this. And we're happy. We still have emotions. We still have the emotional range, but we're emotionally free. So we know that when we're sad, that it's a healing. And we know that when we're angry, there's a transformation. And we know that when we're grieving, that it's love that's expressing itself. And so we're not afraid of what we're feeling. We love what we're feeling. Which means there's more empathy for everyone, and there's more understanding. So there are less people who are starving, and there are less people who are poor, and there are less people who are hurting, and there are less people that are lonely. And that's what I signed up for. And if this is the price of admission, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Because that's heaven on earth. And it's not, you know, walking around in white robes and harps and halos. Pass, hard pass, bad fashion. I'm not wearing white after Labor Day. Forget it. No, fashion hasn't changed that much. But I am willing. And all I have to do is feel what I'm feeling, love what rises, and do the best that I can. So God, Goddess, all that is, please bless everyone watching this live or later, that we may be the very best that we can be today. That we may be on that golden timeline, whether we know it or not, by loving what rises and understanding when someone's in pain, that they're making their way to that golden timeline as well. And maybe we can teach by example. Maybe we can love what rises in them without saying a word, making them wrong, judging them, condemning them as we go. And as judgments and condemnations rise up within us, that needs more love too. Thank you. Breathe. Little fingers, wiggle toes, because we didn't astral project, but come back into the body. Oh. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Emotional freedom in the golden timeline. Sort of like AJ and the Queen, which I will watch eventually, the rest of it. All right, people. I got witch work to do, by the way, like that. There's my shingle. I don't have it hanging up, but I do have it sparkling behind me. I'm going to do some readings 9 p.m. Eastern tonight in the Markangelo Lyons Mal for short Facebook group. I will be taking this black candle and anointing it with oil, and we are going to hold vigil for those who have crossed, for those who have those that have crossed, for that. We're just going to pray for them. So figure 9 to 9:30, 9:45. Then we are going to be back here, and we'll see what happens. It'll be void, of course. Maybe I will have a cocktail. Maybe I'll drink the rest of that purple stuff and make funny hair horns for you all. I have no idea. But it'll be on the golden timeline, I have a feeling. So in between now and then, I'll do what I got to do. Cool, cool. Well, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for the super chats, everybody. Really, really helpful. It makes me feel better when they demonetize me because I said a bad word or said a word that flagged something or other. Because I know they're gonna watch it and they're gonna go, oh no, he didn't mean that. Sometimes, you know, you say the word witch and they think it's another word. Right? Whatever. So thank you. I really, really do appreciate that. It puts my Virgo mind and heart at ease. And my Pisces moon loves you all so very much, for my Pisceans out there. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed. And I know I'll see the majority of you later. I love you also so very, very, very much. But for now, say it with me, because I'm about to go into twin flame land. Fabulous. Hail. Farewell. And blessed, blessed be. Ciao bello. Mwah.